Hello Raid Fighters. I was bombarded with messages in the last few days after an incident that happened on Facebook. There was an argument with Tales Vercetti and his gang. What happened, and I am accused of being dishonest, it's something I need to clarify with you. Because I don't like to be thrown mad, and I want to protect you and the server. When I started developing Raidfight Interlude, I worked with a developer. The developer offered me some server files that worked with L2DC code. He offered me the server files log, but I didn't mind as long as he followed my line and as long as he did his job well. At some point, I went through the process of unlocking the files, not for any reason, just because I can and out of curiosity. In the code I discovered references to tells and pieces of functionality code that I didn't ask for or I didn't have as an option. At first I didn't pay any attention because I assumed that the developer had worked with Tails before, something perfectly acceptable and a little expected since there are few who work with Lineage 2 Java files. In the process, I discovered failures in the game mechanics that did not exist in the beginning when I started working with the files. I thought the sabotage was possible since the server had not been opened yet. But the developer didn't know that he developed code for Raidfight, something that I kept a secret. I didn't reveal it for obvious reasons, but he has told me that he has found out somehow. I've been searching the code and decrypting between the updates I undertook in the meantime. So I decided to change developer, and of course I got the existing code and gave it to a new team, since of course I have decrypted it. And that's because I didn't want to have anything to do with people like Vercetti and Tails, people who have done a lot of damage to Lineage 2 after opening servers one after the other and closing them after a month. Vercetti had millions of euro out of Lineage 2, and when I say millions, I mean it. He can make money, I'm not against it, but he keeps opening the servers like there's no tomorrow. He doesn't respect his community and the Lineage 2 community in general, and this sickens me. In the meantime, I started receiving threatening messages in which I didn't pay any attention, and as a result there was some DDoS attacks we had since the server has opened. In the process, it was confirmed by the new team, which is currently our team, that there was sabotage in the code. That's partly why I had so many bugs in the beginning to fix. I didn't pay attention to the threats and DDoS because it happens on every server. But we came to find out that the developer I worked with in the beginning did not work with Tails in the past, but has remained a partner of Vercetti to this day. The developer lost his income he had from me, and we're talking about a lot of money, after he sold me code that he didn't have the right to do so, based at least on the agreement he had with Vercetti. So he ran back to his dad, Vercetti, to apologize, or so I thought. I am accused of stealing the files which I have paid a lot and rightfully belong to me, files that were forged to hurt me by Vercetti since he was in the Bay. And all of this trick and all this controversy has been done by Vercetti to throw band at my name, to have an excuse to turn his people against us. I just found out that he intended to hurt Raidfight through the server files, but I discovered him before he did so. And Vercetti now is desperate and misbehaving. He threatened me and he insulted me like he did before. And now that all these threats are nothing, just acts of despair, since it's getting harder and harder for him to make money through Lineage 2. I will go to Thessalonica in a few days to his city. If he has the guts, let's talk about it in person and solve it once and for all. I know how big a scammer he is, and he's not going to change. But he can't throw mud on me in public. He has my contacts, he knows where I am and where I will be when I go to Thessalonica. Those of you who tell me to be careful know that I am not unaware of the danger. There's simply no danger. He's just a kid who thinks he has the money to do as he wants. Spoiled punk. I have nothing to teach him. He won't change. I don't have any hope he will. Vercetti Tales represents everything that's sick, wrong in Lineage 2. Vercetti is just the opposite of me, and that's enough for me to confront him. He's the example to be avoided. I have a clear conscience. I have nothing to hide, nothing to fear of, and I owe that to you, because you are my reward. Your choice of raid fight is a promise for me. Because of you, raid fight is big and strong. Because of you, I have the guts to stand up against Vercetti and his kind. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful day. Your beloved Nekis.